Brought to you by 1AAuto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet.
Hi, I'm Don from 1A Auto. I hope this how-to video helps you out. And the next time you need a part for your vehicle, think of 1AAuto.com. Thanks.
In this video, we're going to show you how to replace a front hub. We do the right-hand hub on this car. The left-hand hub is basically the same procedure. And it's also the same. This is a 97 LeSabre. This hub's the same for any 93 to 98 or 99 LeSabre. It's also the same for Bonneville, Olds 88 and 98, and Buick Park Ave. You'll need a new hub from 1AAuto.com, 34 19mm socket with a socket wrench, hammer, chisel, wire brush, a 3/8 Allen key tool or a socket style tool, Torx 55 socket, a pipe for some extra leverage, a pry bar or a long screwdriver, and a torque wrench. Okay, we're going to fast forward here, remove the center cap. If you don't have the benefit of air tools, you'll want to start with the vehicle on the ground, loosen the lug nuts first, then raise and secure the vehicle, and remove the lug nuts, wheel, and tire.
I'm going to use a 34mm socket, breaker bar, and pipe extension. And I got Mike sitting in the car holding the brakes.
I'm going to fast forward as I finish removing that 34mm nut.
The calipers held on with 2 bolts, a 3/8 inch Allen. And it's got quite a bit of rust, so I'm going to knock this one in.
I'm going to speed up the video here while I remove the 2 Allen head bolts that hold the caliper on.
I want to be able to separate the caliper off the rotor, and in order to do that, I'm just going to pry and then pry up. Rotor right off. I want to make sure that the axle is going to be free from the hub before I take it off, so I can see it moving, so it's ready to go. The hub's held in with 3 T55 bolts, and when you spin this around, you're going to get access to them through the larger of the 3 holes. We got a lot of rust on these bolts, so I want to make sure that this T55 is really in there, because I don't want to strip out the bolt.
I'm using my T55, a long ratchet, and a pipe for extra leverage, and I'm removing the 3 bolts. I'm going to leave one of them in just a little bit so that when I knock the hub free from the back side, it just doesn't come flying out.
Go ahead, unplug your sensor.
Then with the hammer, hit the back side of the hub until it gets free, and then go ahead and remove that last bolt that you had in there that was just going to hold the hub so it didn't go flying.
When I pulled the hub out, the hub separated from itself, so we've got to get up to still get this out of the way. I'm going to use a punch and a hammer from the back side to push it out.
As I fast forward here, I'm just cleaning the inside of the spindle with a wire brush. You can use a flat screwdriver or a chisel to get some of that rust that's on the outer surface of the spindle so that when you put the new hub on, it sits right up against it flush.
We get the old part, we get the new part from 1A Auto, and they're identical, even down to the clip and the harness connector, so it should go in no problem. So you can take a connector, go ahead and throw it through, feed it through your spindle, Then feed your drive shaft through your bearing. And we've got our backing plate.
With the backing plate back in place, go ahead and reinstall the 3 T55 bolts.
Torquing them to 55 foot-pounds.
And I'm going to go ahead and fast forward as I torque those bolts.
Reconnect your connector. Clip it onto your backing plate. Reinstall your 34mm nut.
And here we're just tightening the nut preliminarily. And as we put the brakes back together, you'll notice we're putting in new brakes. Just a good time to do it. If you want to see a more detailed video of how to do this, check out our other videos for the Buick LeSabre front brakes.
The outboard pad is going to slip in like this, and the little tabs are going to fall into place. And the inboard pad, these clips are going to go inside your caliper piston. And then just slide it right back over to your rotor.
Okay, we'll fast forward as we just straighten those out, tighten up the calipers, remove that lug nut that we used to hold everything in place, and then stick the wheel and tire back on, lug nuts, and tighten them.
100 foot-pounds is the torque spec, the lug nuts. 107 foot-pounds is the torque spec for the CV joint, or the CV shaft nut.
And whenever you've had the brakes apart,
Anytime
just
you do
make
brake
sure
work,
you go
you
in
need to pump the pedal
and pump the brakes a bunch
before
of
you go anywhere.
times. Make sure you have a nice firm pedal before you road
sure it
test
gets
the
stiff.
vehicle. We hope this helps you out. Brought to you by www.oneauto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet. Please feel free to call us toll-free 888-844-3393. We're the company that's here for you on the internet and in person.